Victor was born with teeth of pure gold. But this wasn't a blessing, it was a curse. From the moment he first smiled in the hospital, the deadly nature of his condition became clear. The nurse who saw his golden teeth collapsed instantly, followed by a doctor and 2 more healthcare workers. Only his parents survived seeing his smile, perhaps because of their deep love for their newborn son. The hospital incident was quickly covered up, but Victor's parents knew they had to protect both their son and others. They homeschooled him, teaching him to always wear a medical mask that covered his mouth. Victor grew up isolated but brilliant, excelling at every subject and developing a particular talent for science and mathematics. Despite his intelligence, loneliness was his constant companion. He never had friends, never played sports, never experienced the normal joys of childhood. When Victor turned 18, his parents decided he needed to experience the real world. They enrolled him in university college, making sure he understood the importance of keeping his mask on at all times. Victor had developed careful techniques for eating and drinking without fully removing his mask, and he never smiled or laughed without the protective covering. At university, Victor's extraordinary intelligence quickly caught everyone's attention. He aced every exam, finished assignments weeks before their due dates, and even corrected professors' mistakes in advanced physics formulas. But his perpetual mask made him a target for curiosity and eventually bullying. Brad Thompson, the university's star athlete and self-appointed king of campus, took particular interest in Victor's mysterious appearance. Brad was massive, 6'6" of solid muscle, with a reputation for crushing anyone who defied him. His father's donations to the university meant he could get away with almost anything, and he took full advantage of this immunity. One afternoon in the university cafeteria, Brad decided to make his move. He strode across the room, his athletic frame casting a shadow over Victor's table where he sat alone, carefully eating his lunch while keeping his mask partially in place. "Well, well, well," Brad's voice boomed, drawing everyone's attention. "If it isn't the mysterious masked boy himself." Victor kept his eyes on his food, trying to ignore the interruption. "Hey, I'm talking to you." Brad slammed his hand on the table, making Victor's water bottle jump. "What's your deal, huh? Think you're too good to show your face like everyone else?" Victor spoke softly but clearly. "I have my reasons. Please leave me alone." Brad laughed, looking around at the gathering crowd. "Reasons? What reasons? Are you that ugly? Or maybe you're some kind of freak?" "Leave him alone, Brad." A girl's voice cut through the tension. Sarah Chen, one of the top students in biology, stepped forward from the crowd. Brad turned, his expression darkening. "Stay out of this, Sarah. This is between me and Mask Boy." "His name is Victor," Sarah said firmly, "and he has a right to wear whatever he wants. This isn't high school anymore." Brad's face reddened. He wasn't used to being challenged, especially not by someone half his size. "Oh, I get it. You got yourself a girlfriend, Mask Boy. Need her to fight your battles." Victor stood up slowly, gathering his books. "I don't want any trouble." "Yeah? Well, trouble wants you." Brad reached for Victor's mask, but Victor stepped back quickly. Several students gasped, phones coming out to record what they thought would be another Brad Thompson beatdown. "Don't," Victor warned, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "Trust me, you don't want to see what's under this mask." "Oh yeah," Brad sneered. "What are you going to do about it? You think I'm scared of you?" Sarah stepped between them. "Brad, you're making a fool of yourself. Everyone's watching. Is this really how you want people to see you? Bullying someone just because they're different?" Some students in the crowd murmured in agreement. Brad looked around, suddenly aware of all the phone cameras pointed at him. "This isn't over," he growled, backing away. "Nobody disrespects me on my campus. Nobody." After Brad left, Sarah turned to Victor. "Are you okay?" "Why did you help me?" Victor asked, genuinely curious. Most people avoided getting involved in Brad's activities. Sarah shrugged, collecting some books that had fallen during the confrontation. "Because it was the right thing to do. And I've seen you in advanced physics. Your work is brilliant." "Thank you," Victor said softly, "but you shouldn't get involved. Brad, he doesn't forget when people stand up to him." "I can handle Brad Thompson," Sarah replied with a small smile. "He's all muscle and no brain. Besides, I'm curious about you. Not about what's under the mask, she added quickly, seeing Victor tense up. About your mind. The way you solved that quantum mechanics problem last week was incredible. For the first time in years, Victor felt something dangerous, hope. Could he actually have a friend? But the weight of his secret pressed down on him like a stone. I should go, he said abruptly, turning away. Wait, Sarah called after him. We're having a study group tonight in the library, 4th floor, the quiet section. You should come. Victor hesitated, then nodded slightly before hurrying away. As he walked to his next class, he could hear Brad's voice echoing down the hallway. Nobody makes me look stupid. I'm going to find out what that freak is hiding if it's the last thing I do. That evening, Victor stood outside the library's 4th floor for nearly 20 minutes, debating whether to join the study group. Through the glass doors, he could see Sarah sitting with 3 other students, their books spread across the table. Finally, gathering his courage, he pushed open the door. Victor, you came. Sarah's genuine smile made him feel both welcome and worried. Everyone, this is Victor. Victor, meet Emma, David, and Mike. Hi, Victor said softly, adjusting his mask nervously. Is it okay if I join? Of course. Emma moved her bags to make space. We're stuck on Professor Williams's quantum mechanics assignment. Sarah says you're like a genius at this stuff. Victor sat down carefully, keeping some distance between himself and the others. It's not that hard once you understand the basic principles. For the next 2 hours, Victor found himself slowly relaxing as they worked through problems together. He discovered he had a talent for explaining complex concepts in simple terms, and the others seemed to forget about his mask as they focused on their studies. Man, Mike laughed after Victor helped him solve a particularly tricky equation. Where have you been hiding all semester? We could have used your help weeks ago. Victor tensed at the word hiding, but Sarah quickly changed the subject. Hey, did anyone understand what Professor Williams said about the double-slit experiment? Meanwhile, in the campus gym, Brad was working out his frustrations on a punching bag, his massive fists making the heavy bag swing wildly. I can't believe you let that freak and that smart-mouth girl embarrass you like that, said Jason, one of Brad's faithful followers, spotting him on the bench press. Brad sat up, his face red with exertion and anger. Shut up, I've got a plan, nobody makes me look stupid and gets away with it. What are you thinking, boss? Brad grabbed a towel, wiping sweat from his face. That girl, Sarah, she thinks she's so smart. Let's see how smart she is when she helps us get what we want. What do you mean? Victor won't let his guard down around me, but Sarah. Brad's smile was cruel. She's already getting close to him. All we need to do is convince her to help us. The next day, Brad cornered Sarah after her biology class. Despite his intimidating size, she stood her ground. What do you want, Brad? Just a friendly chat. His tone was anything but friendly. You're getting pretty close to Mask Boy, aren't you? His name is Victor, and it's none of your business. Brad's voice dropped to a threatening whisper. Here's the thing, Sarah. I looked you up. You're here on a scholarship, right? Would be a shame if someone told the administration about your little tutoring business. Sarah's face paled. She had been helping struggling students with their coursework for money, something strictly against university policy. You wouldn't help me find out what's under that mask, Brad said, and nobody needs to know about your side hustle. Think about it. Don't you want to know what he's hiding too? Sarah pushed past him, but Brad called after her. Clock's ticking, sweetheart. Make the smart choice. Later that day, Sarah found Victor in their usual study spot, but she couldn't focus on the equations in front of her. Victor, she said finally, we're friends, right? He looked up from his textbook, eyes wary above his mask. I think so, yes. Then why won't you trust me? What are you hiding? Victor stared at Sarah for a long moment, his heart racing. He'd never wanted to trust someone so much, but the weight of his secret felt overwhelming. Sarah, please understand, he said softly. It's not about trust. It's about keeping you safe. Safe from what? Sarah leaned forward. Victor, whatever it is, you can tell me. Is someone threatening you? Is it something illegal? No, nothing like that. Victor gathered his book suddenly. I should go. Wait, Sarah caught his arm. "Brad threatened me today." Victor froze. "What? What did he do?" Sarah explained about Brad's blackmail attempt. Victor's hands clenched into fists as she spoke. "I would never help him," Sarah assured him quickly. "But he's not going to stop. And if he exposes my tutoring—" "I'll help you," Victor said firmly. "We can find a way to stop him without— Just tell me the truth." Sarah's voice cracked with emotion. "Whatever you're hiding, it can't be worse than letting Brad destroy people's lives." Victor sat back down heavily. "You're wrong. It is worse. Much worse." He looked around the empty study room, then spoke barely above a whisper. "My teeth. They're made of gold." Sarah blinked. "That's it? That's your big secret? You're hiding gold teeth?" "Not just gold teeth. When people see them, they die, instantly." Sarah stared at him, then laughed nervously. "That's not funny, Victor." "I wish I was joking." His eyes were dead serious above his mask. "The first time I smiled as a baby, 3 hospital workers died. The only ones who've ever survived seeing them are my parents." That's impossible," Sarah whispered, but something in Victor's voice made her doubt creep in. "Now you know why I can't just show everyone. Why I can't prove Brad wrong. It's not about me, it's about keeping people alive." Before Sarah could respond, they heard voices in the hallway.